The soft glow of the nursery nightlight bathed Sarah's face in a warm, ethereal light as she gazed down at her newborn, a tiny bundle of miraculous innocence. A wave of profound love washed over her, mingled with an overwhelming sense of responsibility, a weight. Heavier than she had ever imagined, the past few months had been a whirlwind of advice, well-meaning but often contradictory, from family, friends, and the endless scroll of social media. Her feed was a curated gallery of perfect nurseries, designer baby clothes, and meticulously planned milestones. The internet, a supposed fount of wisdom, became a relentless highlight reel of must-have baby gear, from smart cribs that rocked themselves to strollers costing more than her first car. A whisper of doubt began to creep. Amidst the euphoria, is all this really necessary? Can I afford to be the perfect parent everyone seems to be? It was the first inkling of an unseen burden, a financial and emotional cost that would soon challenge her deepest beliefs about parenting. The initial phase of preparing for a child, for many parents like Sarah across the US and Europe, often feels like stepping onto a runaway train of expenses. The average cost of raising a child to age 18 in the United States, excluding college, is estimated to be over $310,000, according to a 2022 Brookings Institution report. This staggering figure, which has only grown since, doesn't even account for the invisible pressures of societal expectations, often fueled by pervasive marketing and aspirational social media. One of the earliest and most insidious myths Sarah encountered was the gear trap, the belief that you need every new, expensive gadget and luxury item to be a good parent. She remembered the guilt she felt looking at a $1,000 stroller, convinced her baby needed the best for optimal comfort and development. Her friends proudly displayed their smart bassinets and high-tech baby monitors. The marketing messages were clear: spend more, be a better parent. Sarah succumbed to some of it. Her nursery, while not extravagant, featured several items she now realized were utterly unnecessary. The fancy wipe warmer remained largely ignored, the complex baby food maker gathered dust after a few uses, and the array of specialized single-purpose baby gadgets proved far less practical than a simple blanket or a basic toy. She wasn't alone. Data from Consumer Reports often highlight that a significant portion of baby gear purchased by first-time parents is rarely used or quickly outgrown. The drive for optimal gear, fueled by commercial messaging, often ignores the reality that babies need very little beyond love, safety, food, and basic comfort. The marketing of these products, often employing emotional appeals about giving your child the best start, perpetuates a cycle of unnecessary spending, turning parental love into a consumer opportunity. As Sarah's daughter, Lily, grew from an infant to a bustling toddler, another myth began to exert its powerful influence: the activity. Arms raced the unspoken belief that more activities mean a better, more well-rounded, or more successful child. Sarah watched her friends' kids, barely out of diapers, being shuttled from competitive toddler soccer to baby ballet, then to early music classes and even pre-kindergarten enrichment programs. The pressure was immense. You don't want Lily to fall behind, do you? A well-meaning relative might suggest. Sarah felt the competitive urge, the fear of missing out on crucial developmental advantages. She enrolled Lily in a swimming class, then a beginner gymnastics program, and started looking into a creative movement class. The financial drain was immediate and substantial. Youth sports alone can cost us families thousands of dollars per child annually, with specialized programs often exceeding $500,000 a year for travel teams or elite training. In Europe, while public sports clubs are more affordable, the pressure for additional private lessons or specialized camps can still add up significantly. The time commitment became overwhelming, turning weekends into a frantic shuttle service. But the true cost went beyond money and time. Lily, once a joyous, free-spirited explorer, sometimes seemed tired, even resistant to going to her classes. Sarah realized the constant scheduling left little room for unstructured play, for quiet family time, or simply for Lily to be a child. This myth, driven by a desire for perceived advantage, often leads to overscheduling, stress for both children and parents, and ironically, less genuine engagement. Then came the anxieties around nutrition, a myth subtly woven into the fabric of affluent parenting, the organic or premium food fallacy, the notion that only the most expensive, specialized, and often organic foods will truly ensure your child's health and intelligence. Sarah found herself spending exorbitant amounts on tiny jars of gourmet organic baby food, specialty gluten-free snacks, and superfood purees, despite her budget groaning under the strain. Supermarket aisles were flooded with expensive, attractively packaged child-specific foods promising brain development or immune boosts only. The best for my little one, she'd tell herself, pushing away the guilt of the mounting grocery bill. Yet nutritional science consistently points to a simpler truth. A balanced diet rich in whole, unprocessed foods, whether organic or conventionally grown, provides the vast majority of necessary nutrients. Many expensive organic or premium children's foods offer marginal, if any, additional nutritional benefit over more affordable, wholesome alternatives and often contain surprisingly high levels of sugar or sodium. This myth, often perpetuated by clever marketing that taps into parental love and anxiety, creates an unnecessary financial strain and often cultivates a guilt complex for parents who cannot afford or choose not to buy into the trend. It's a classic example of conspicuous consumption applied to parenting, where spending more signals care, even if the practical benefits are minimal. The ultimate unspoken myth often felt most acutely by Sarah was the performance pressure and social media illusion, the belief that the perfect parent exists, and they're effortlessly curating their flawless lives on Instagram, while their perfect child excels at everything. Sarah would scroll through feeds showing immaculate homes, perfectly dressed children engaged in enriching activities, and parents seemingly bursting with endless energy and patience. This relentless highlight reel created an immense silent pressure to perform, to measure up, to achieve an unattainable ideal. She found herself comparing her own messy, chaotic, yet loving reality to these curated fantasies, inevitably feeling inadequate, exhausted, and sometimes like a failure. This comparison trap took a significant toll on her mental health, contributing to stress, anxiety, and even burnout, a hidden cost rarely quantified in financial reports. The pressure to produce gifted children, to enroll them in every activity, to provide every advantage, creates a cycle of competitive parenting that harms both parents and children. Kids feel the pressure to constantly perform, while parents feel the crushing weight of impossible expectations. Data from mental health organizations increasingly highlight the rising rates of parental burnout, directly linked to societal pressures and the relentless pursuit of an unattainable perfect parent ideal propagated by digital platforms. These pervasive parenting myths, often perpetuated by consumer culture and the competitive nature of modern life, contribute significantly to the overall rising cost of raising children and the profound financial stress families face. Beyond the direct monetary drain, the emotional exhaustion, the relentless guilt, and the feeling of inadequacy are immense unquantified burdens that weigh heavily on parents' well-being. It's a systemic cost, not just an individual one, impacting family dynamics and parental mental health on a societal scale. But amidst the overwhelming pressure, a quiet rebellion began to stir within Sarah. She looked at Lily, laughing as she built a fort out of old blankets and sofa cushions, her face smeared with remnants of a homemade snack. Lily didn't care about the brand of her shoes or the number of activities on her schedule or whether her snack was organic. She cared about connection, laughter, and being present. Sarah's realization was profound. These myths were hurting her, draining her resources, and distracting her from what truly mattered. She slowly began to break free. She embraced intentional, simpler parenting, prioritizing connection over consumption. She discovered the liberation of accepting hand-me-downs, of encouraging creative, unstructured play, of saying no to the activity arms race that offered diminishing returns for increasing stress. She focused on simple, wholesome nutrition cooked at home rather than succumbing to the guilt of expensive gourmet baby foods. She started curating her social media feed, actively seeking out voices that championed authenticity and imperfection, slowly silencing the external noise of the perfect parent illusion. The ultimate conclusion for Sarah and for many parents who embark on this journey of realization is that the best investment one can make in a child isn't money spent on endless stuff or a dizzying array of activities. It's about time, love, presence, and genuine connection. It's about fostering resilience, curiosity, and inner joy rather than chasing external validations of success. The courage to challenge these pervasive societal myths, to let go of the relentless pursuit of perfection, and to embrace a more sustainable, joyful, and authentic path to raising children, ultimately frees not just the parents' wallets, but their hearts and minds, leading to a richer, more meaningful family life.